Hi everyone, and welcome to the ALIV podcast. I'm your host Dimple, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by a very special entrepreneur, Rishi Tandulwadkar. He is the founder of ALIV Regenerative Wellness. ALIV has recently gained incredible recognition as the first Indian company to win the prestigious Best Business Pitch Award at the G20 Summit this year, and its roots are right here in Amchi, Pune. Rishi is a visionary social entrepreneur redefining how we think about health by focusing on preventive measures and groundbreaking therapies which support overall well-being. Rishi, before we dive into deeper aspects of aging and wellness, I'm curious to know what inspired you for ALIV and your entire journey towards this organization.
So there's a lot that has happened in the last 8-9 years. But one thing is, everything we do at ALIV is from the perspective that your 60s, 70s, 80s should be a better quality of life than it typically is for most of our parents and grandparents today.
Yes.
And my story started similar. It was my grandmother. I was not in India. I was abroad for a good 8-9 years. So it was in the middle of that. And Nani, diabetic for a good 20-25 years, insulin for almost 15-20 years.
Oh my God.
Reached a point where because of diabetes, her kidney started failing. Diabetes, end organ disease, we knew at some point something is going to happen. But in her case, on the plus side, it was not something fatal. On the other side, it was something that is going to eventually degenerate. So kidney started failing, and she was given about 3 months to 6 months before she could go on dialysis. Once you start dialysis and you're diabetic and you're at 74, which she was at the time, you have 2, 3, 4 years left. And throughout, we've while we're growing up, we always want to spend more time with our grandparents, spend more time with our parents, but we're so busy doing all the things that we are doing that we're like, okay, we'll do it this summer, we'll do it this break and this vacation, and then suddenly we figured 3 to 6 months of dialysis. That means like we have maybe a couple of years of great health or decent health of us left, and we were all scared. But we were here still sitting counting, okay, chalo, we have a couple of years. Nani says, I am never going to do dialysis. Let my kidneys fail. I want to pass on that way because I've lived my full life. Dialysis means going to the hospital every second day, third day, how many ever times. I'm not leading that kind of a lifestyle. And now we're like, what are we supposed to do? And both my parents are doctors. Right? So both of them being doctors were like, for our mother, we can't do anything. We're doing hundreds of things to, save hundreds of people. But for our own mother, we can't do anything. So they started exploring regenerative applications. Because that was the only way to try and revive her kidneys to function a little bit more longer.
I'm glad she said no.
In hindsight, But so we started approaching, we met some scientists who we already knew. They gave us an idea about, okay, this can be done, that can be done. But we didn't find a center in India that was doing it. And she was not in a condition to go abroad also. Both need transplants done, very obese, too many things going on. So she said, listen, just let it be. But parents were not, just going to give up.
Obviously.
So one of the scientists suggested that, why don't I help you guys set up a lab where, you can do it over there yourself. And at that point of time, we had studied the science enough to know that this was safe. Her own cells were going to be used for her. Worst case scenario, benefit nahi milega. But anyways, we are looking at a timeline and a deadline. So they said, okay, let's do it. So with the scientists, they set up the lab, they did the whole protocol. She was the first patient. There was no trial testing, nothing. Because we knew exactly what we were doing. We'd set up everything in the right way. And in hindsight, we delayed her dialysis by 5 years. Right?
Oh my God.
But in the 1 year that followed, we definitely knew her kidneys had started regenerating. So we knew we had delayed it. We didn't know at that time how much it has regenerated or how many years we have. But because of that, there was a protocol we followed where we did a session every 2-3 months, I think. In a year's time, we also realized not only has the kidney regenerated, but her diabetes and her insulin requirement had drastically started dropping. Her medication requirement had drastically started dropping. And we were just like, wow, and I'm this kid sitting halfway across the globe, wondering all these things that are happening. So I started doing research there.
Okay.
कि इंडिया में ये हो रहा है.
Yeah. How old were you that time?
I was about, I think 23, 24.
How many people can say that today at 23? Goodness.
So yeah, this was about 9-10 years back, and so I was doing research there. I found out that okay, this is routine.
Yeah.
It happens here, different procedure, different this thing, but same end goal.
Yeah.
Using stem cells and using your own cells, you can do certain regenerative measures for certain chronic conditions.
Correct.
Some places it works, some places it doesn't work, but no side effects.
Right.
And that's when I sort of felt that okay, listen, this is something that has changed my grandmother's life.
I know, that's like in your own family.
In our own family, lot of other people from the family, when they saw her results, came up. Our first 100 patients were family and friends. And this was not a thing that we started to do it for people. The intention was to just do it for Nani, and whenever she needs it, the setup was done because she might need it more, so rahega setup.
My God.
Then we realized that a lot of people are looking for something like this. There's a lot of potential of it, a lot of different diseases that people are like, iska bhi ho sakta hai kya, uska bhi ho sakta hai kya.
Correct.
And that's how it all started back in the day.
I can't even imagine the amount of fear, first of all, to dive into something like this for your own family member. And the courage that your parents took to make this happen. Hats off. And they say charity begins at home, but I think for us, health and ALIV began at home.
Yeah, it did. Wow. And when I was there, that's what I felt. I was like, this is a business that I want to be in. Because money and financial aspect aside, it's an impact on an individual's life. Like for my Nani, we gave her 5 more years.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And since then, we've done so many cases, right? Parkinson's patients walking again, stroke-induced paralysis patients gaining their freedom and mobility.
Yeah.
World's first stem cell babies. A lot of great results that came out after that. Everything stemming though from Nani and the situation
Nani.
at home.
Thank you, Nani. No, but also you could have chosen to continue, even if you were researching there, you could continue to open a practice center there. You could decide to open ALIV in a Western country. You had everything going for you. You would be at a better place. People accept this so much more with a free mind over there, but still you chose India. Is there a reason behind this?
So I knew I always wanted to come back.
You know the struggles here, but
I know the struggles. I've been through all the struggles in the last 7-8 years that I've been here. But only child. Parents never expected me to come back. They're doctors. I started with engineering and then business and entrepreneurship, and I was in a different field altogether. But at that point of time, ever since it was entrepreneurship on my mind, I was inclined towards the aspect of social entrepreneurship.
Right.
And if I was gonna do social entrepreneurship, I wanted to do it at home.
Yeah.
Right, because there are a lot of things here that need help.
A lot. In fact, a lot more.
Yeah. And then diabetes, what we started with it's an end organ disease. There is no cure. Yeah. It's not an easy life for the individual, which I've seen firsthand.
Yeah.
And when we saw that at that point of time, when Nani's delay happened by 5 years, our only thought was, what if we could have done it 20 years sooner?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is what you're trying to give.
That is exactly the
world
sense
today,
of
right? That can I just give you extra life? Just can I make it a better life for you?
Better quality of life.
Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
I really want to know this concept of regenerative wellness as opposed to a traditional health approach.
So typically things started from back in the day where there was Ayurveda.
Yeah.
There's allopathy, there's homeopathy. All of these verticals at some point, Ayurveda maybe goes back centuries. But other ones have come around in the last couple of 100 years.
Yeah.
Right? Similarly, we are at this dawn of a new vertical coming in, which is regenerative medicine.
Okay.
Right? How an Ayurveda person may not know about allopathy may not know about homeopathy. A lot of experts in the field today may not fully understand regenerative medicine.
Right.
And it's not that they are wrong that they don't understand it. It's just that it's a different vertical. It's come up now.
Yeah.
People don't know about it, so they haven't studied about it.
Right.
There are a lot of cellular enzymatic things that happen that can be triggered, that can happen innately, can be a gene expression. There's multiple different things.
Okay.
So the regenerative medicine vertical focuses on regenerating various cells, organ systems, and physiologies in the body.
Okay.
Using multiple ways and types of different cells. Right? One core of it is stem cells.
Okay.
But the stem cells can come from various aspects of things. It can come from your bone marrow, it can come from your fat, it can come from an umbilical cord,
I have that.
embryo.
I've got that done. Yeah.
for
my daughter. Yes.
So all of them have different applications.
Right.
A lot of it is still under research. As of now, the safest and the most cleanest way of doing it without giving any side effects to the person is autologous, which means from you back into you.
Okay.
It's not someone else's cells or via, because then that involves some processing and other things.
Yes.
But this is a minimally invasive way, minimally manipulative way where we're not really doing anything except activating the cells and putting them back into you.
Can you give me an example to understand this better for the audience?
I'll help you understand stem cells a little bit better.
Yeah.
In the sense that if you get a cut on your hand, right, your skin knows that I have to regrow skin in that same spot of that same size, color, shape. That intelligence comes from your skin stem cells.
Okay.
Similarly, all our body is filled with organ-specific stem cells.
Okay.
But then there are some of these master cells also, which have not really taken shape of an organ yet.
Okay.
We are created from a stem cell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But these cells have not taken form yet.
Okay.
So even in the cells that have not taken form yet, there are many types. There are ones that can become anything. Then there are ones can become things that you send them to become.
Okay.
And sometimes you can program it to become exactly what you want it to become.
Wow.
So regenerative medicine across the world is a major vertical coming up under research, which uses this potential of a stem cell, a regenerative aspect of every cell has some stem cell in it.
Correct.
But this uses a slightly more nascent form of it to become and regrow or regenerate into what you want it to regenerate.
Wow.
So that is regenerative medicine.
Yeah, and that's way forward because you're using the skin's intelligence to do this, or the stem cells intelligence to do this.
Right.
Fantastic.
Right. So when we talk about that Dolly sheep story that had come ages back, one sheep से दूसरा sheep बना था.
Yes.
तो इसका stem cell लेके इसमें डाला था और फिर sheep बना था.
Right.
In the lab we have scientists who've grown organs, who've done a lot of very advanced things. Gene editing, I think, with CRISPR technology is also started in the States. Okay. Very expensive, not affordable.
Of course.
But technology has reached a point where very advanced things are also happening.
Correct.
There are a lot of very basic things that you can apply, which takes it from the regenerative medicine aspect of things into the wellness aspect of things. Right?
Correct.
So we are not saying we're going to cure you and get rid of all your negative genes and things like that. But your lifestyle is what it is. You're predisposed to what you are. So let's help you in a slightly more regenerative way.
Right.
Not treating your symptoms, but addressing the root cause.
Yeah, that's always the key to making the thing work for you, basically.
And that's pretty much regenerative wellness. Everything you're doing is trying to address the root cause, not just what you're feeling after the fact.
Now, this makes a lot of sense again. Yeah. Also, see, when people talk about, aging or wanting to age gracefully, I think the first few signs that they notice about aging is, say, graying of hair, wrinkles coming in. It's on superficial level. Me too, actually. But, at ALIV, I know that this goes way deeper. Wellness and aging gracefully. I want you to shed light on that.
So, wrinkles and gray hair and balding and some of these things which are purely aesthetic obviously come at a certain age, so it's associated with age ho gaya to ho raha hai, right? That's a common notion. But all of these things are slightly tied in with your genes. I have friends who are 32 years old and have pretty much gone bald, right?
Yeah.
But their father maybe at 60 has started going bald.
Correct.
But this fellow has gone bald at 30.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He could have gone bald a little bit later, but no, he started going bald sooner.
Yeah.
So there is an aspect to genes which is there.
Okay.
Genetically, you're predisposed to something.
Okay.
But a lot of factors around us have changed. The air we breathe is different. The water, the food, the medicines that we're on, our bodies being resistant to it, our stress factors, the devices around us, sleep quality, mental health impacts. Absolutely. I'm sure our parents and grandparents have had their own mental health issues, but the ones we deal with today are very different from the ones that they would have dealt with, and by default its impact is also going to be a little bit different. So there's one aspect which is your genes, which are sort of like a bullet.
Okay.
But it's all these other factors which are the trigger.
got it.
So, for example, his father, the trigger started off balding 30 years later. Correct. But for him, it got triggered earlier. This is just one example of one thing. Same thing can be applied to all organ systems. Yeah. Right? All our body parts and organs are aging at different speeds and different rates because of all these factors around us. And there's actually a vertical of research for all these factors. It's called epigenetics. Okay. Things that are happening around you, which are causing your genes to express themselves in a different way. God. And there's, I don't know about end-to-end research on it yet, but there is some research on the fact that trauma can be passed on through your genes generation after generation. God, yeah. Now, 10 generations down, I have no idea what happened is going to happen to some kid based on 10 generations previous. Prior. Yeah, what happened? What is there? My God. But they say genes can carry this impact. Yes. So these are what we call epigenetics. The expression of your genes is affected by this. Now, these are not factors that we regularly study, right? We are used to studying. It's like our atmosphere today. It's the air we breathe, literally. Right? How do you know? How do you know? So what we tend to look at is we try to evaluate the person's lifestyle end to end. Okay. We look at how stress is impacting you, if there is stress impacting you, because stress has a major role to play in a lot of our body functions. Okay. Right? But stress is one factor. Food, this, that, hundreds of factors. Package, right? So to that purpose, what we do is we do a slightly more advanced form of diagnostics if required. Okay. A lot of people come to us saying, hey, nothing is wrong with me, but I know my lifestyle is not great. Okay. I know I have been through stress. I know I have 50 things going on. So I need some support. And we can't just always blindly give support. Yeah. Sure, if he comes with a fixed problem, that, okay, my energy levels are low. My metabolism is low. I'm gaining weight. I'm not being able to lose weight. These are all fixed problems. We can directly look at it. We don't need to study too much else in depth. Yeah. But otherwise, the way we look at things deeper, going beyond just your hair and balding and few other things, is to analyze with some diagnostics. We've tied up with a US company for this. Okay. To do some tests to identify these biomarkers in your genes. Okay. Are you more predisposed to a heart attack? Are you more predisposed to cancer? Yeah. If you're having trouble losing weight, what is the right genetic biomarker predisposition for you, which might make it easier for you to lose weight in this route? Yeah. For you, there are people who say, I'm doing calorie deficit, I'm doing everything, but I'm still not losing weight. Correct. So either you're not genetically predisposed to lose weight that way, right? Or then there's something wrong with the way. So you can help them get to the root cause again of what's coming in the way. Actual root cause, how your genes are affecting that. Right. And not everybody needs to do the test. Yeah, if you really want to know each and every pinpoint in detail, we do the test. But these are factors we consider by default anyway when we're doing some of our therapies. Right. So when we recommend something to someone, it's not just considering the little symptom or the 2-3 things that they want to look at. It's considering what they might face a few years later because the genes are going to express themselves over time. And you're not going to realize it on day one. Yeah. And one of the biggest things that is becoming a buzzword in the longevity space across the world is called DNA methylation. What is that? DNA, your DNA is in your X and Y chromosomes. Yeah, correct. Right? The ends of these chromosomes are called telomeres. Okay. Okay. With age and with our lifestyle stress, all these epigenetic factors, these telomeres start becoming shorter and shorter. अभी वो X and Y is the complete chromosome. हाँ. अभी आधा काट दिया, आधा नहीं करता है, but थोड़ा सा काट दिया. Yeah, in the terms for understanding, you're saying that. So you're missing some piece of information. Yeah. Right? It's like giving you a page to speak out, but removing 2 lines in the middle. Right? May or may not relate. Correct. May relate, may not relate. Correct. This telomere shortening that is happening is called DNA methylation, where your DNA is getting shorter and shorter. Damn. And by default, the signaling that is supposed to happen is not happening. So something or the other is going wrong. Oh God. Right? Now, different reasons why different people undergo aging in an accelerated or non-accelerated way. There are 10, 12 different things that we have identified and globally have been identified as aspects of aging that need to definitely be looked at. Okay. One of them is DNA methylation.
Got it.
The other one of them is epigenetics. One of them is understanding your biomarkers and predisposition to different aspect of things. Now, if I do my biomarker test and I know I'm at risk of heart disease, no matter what, I will make sure that in my lifestyle I will not incorporate.
Correct.
But our perspective today is कभी कुछ होगा तो समझेगा फिर लगेगा अभी तो हो गया पहले तो बताया नहीं और हो गया, right?
Too late.
So it's like that. So that's how we take it a step deeper. And then we have therapies that target it in a regenerative way where you make new cells for the body, and then in a supportive way where you're giving the body ammunition, nutrition, elements, XYZ.
I like the word ammunition actually. Something, it just makes me feel powerful, like as if I have something in me to fight through. See, like you're saying, I cannot really avoid how I live today or my lifestyle, or I can't say I'm not going to be tech savvy anymore. We can't, right? Now we have to adopt to what we are living in.
Right.
So if I have the ammunition, I feel like powerful and strong that no, you know what, I can handle this
Help
now.
you. Yeah. And that's how we take it a little bit deeper than just your basic IV therapies or basic overall
this is so much
wellness
more
related things. Yeah.
So you spoke about organ aging, right? So is there like a test or a marker to decide my biological age? And how does one know that something is going wrong?
Okay. So what we said before also, right? Like graying of hair and balding and these kind of things that sort of start setting in with age. There are people who are 50 who look 60. There are people who are 30 who look 50. There are people who are 50 who look 30.
That's
right?
True. Yeah.
All of this is an aesthetic part. On an average, I am sure the person who is 50 and looking 30 is doing a lot for their health.
Okay.
Right? Proactively, be it working out, be it nutrition, multiple things.
Yeah.
But the key for almost everybody lies in nutrition.
Right.
Now, nutrition and other things have to be on point.
Absolutely.
If those things are not on point, innately somewhere you know. You know that this has not been a good month and this is not.
Yeah.
But for some people, it becomes a lifestyle and then it just takes, not just the backseat, it takes like the third row sort of seat.
Not even a priority.
Where it's not a priority anymore. In cases like that, you should just regularly know your numbers. Right? There are a lot of different parameters in the body that one needs to keep a constant check on.
How?
The basic blood test. Starting level is basic blood test.
Okay.
For someone of this perspective, कि I'm really not doing anything for my health, at least blood test करके रखते रहो.
Right.
Every 6 months, every 1 year, depending on how bad your lifestyle actually is, basic hemogram करो, B12, D3 deficiencies करो, inflammation markers you can do, liver function, kidney function, cholesterol.
Yeah.
All of these are overall tests which you should at least proactively keep doing.
Yeah. So keep the awareness what's happening inside
at least
your
you
body.
know that nothing has gone off in this last 6 months or last 1 year.
Right.
This is step one.
Okay.
Sometimes all these tests are normal, but you're still feeling something. You're still having joint pain. You're still feeling some weakness. You're still not having that energy. That is when you have to go to what you mentioned about what is your biological age. Right? And in those cases, what generally happens is that your organ at some point of time, it is at some point linked to either nutrition or a genetic predisposition. Your biomarkers on your genes disposing you to not perform as well in a particular organ system, well as the other ones are doing okay. As of now, everybody says biological age more on the lines of how you look. And
I don't want to talk the superficial level, really,
But as a world standard, fat mass, age, muscle mass, water capacity of the body, bone mass, all these things factored in do give you a rough mathematical expectation of your biological age.
Okay.
Right? Accurate? I don't think so. Because actually it might be say 35.
Yeah.
You're a fit individual and fit person and fat mass is not that much, muscle mass is okay. So the thing might say your biological age is 33. But until you do a proper diagnostic test, which is your epigenetic and biomarker test, you will not know exactly.
Okay.
Right? Because this is just an overall number. These tests can give you organ level. It can tell you for your lungs separately, your liver separately, your heart separately, your stomach separately, your intestine separately.
Damn.
Right?
That's intense,
Because genetic biomarkers are predisposed since the day you're born. And then your lifestyle has taken them to some point. So these tests, these epigenetic tests can be done once in 2-3 years, once in 4-5 years.
Fair enough, yeah.
To see, okay, I've done this for my lifestyle, where am I at now?
Correct.
Okay, now I've made changes in my lifestyle, let's do it consistently for a few years.
It's working for this organ.
Yeah. It's not like blood tests that you need to do it every 3-4 months or 6-7 months or 1 year also. Little bit more spaced out because you got to give your body time to also impact and realize.
Yeah.
But some of these tests, there are some amazing tests out there that can give you a lot of information for your body.
Fantastic.
What you're predisposed to, what your organ health is like, and also a lot of these different allergy related things and drug related things and pure nutrition related things also. Right? They can tell you your body is not as capable of processing magnesium. So you know that's something you want to supplement.
Yes.
Right now we take supplements blindly. The more the better. Zyada doses de do, jitna absorb hoga ho jayega.
My God, that's really what's going on.
That's how it's going on. There are some tests available to tell you what you're predisposed to.
Right.
And if it's not always accessible and easy to do these tests, they are a little bit expensive. At least there are other tests to tell you what are your levels of that in your body. If your magnesium levels are okay, if your B12 levels are okay, then why do you need a supplement that's going to give you that?
Absolutely.
Right. Moreover, most people take supplements off the shelf. So it's not prescribed to you.
Yeah.
COVID.
Even A to Z medicine. It has everything.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's crazy. I know people are just picking and popping.
Well, now that you say it, I also remember whenever I've asked people, are you taking any vitamin supplement? I'm taking everything.
Yeah, because it's one medicine for all.
Everything. And the last few years have been a health scare for a lot of people. Predispositions really put you at risk. So people said, okay, what can we do? But the solution is to eat right. Mobility, workout, sleep quality, shutting off devices, mental health aspect of things. You focus on those and internally everything else works. Because at the end of the day, it's how your genes function in your body and how 100 things that you're doing are either allowing them to function the right way or hampering how they function. So at least the diagnostic tests, even the basic blood tests that are there, some advanced biomarker tests, all of these are available to us today to test and know how deep you want to go into it. Then there's an endless number of tests.
Infinite,
But at least the basic ones people should know. And if your test results are off and that doesn't scare you and start making you think of things in a slightly different way.
I can't sleep if my test result is off at any given point of time.
And we see so many cases right now. In the last 6 months, I think we've had a lot of patients, luckily, who have come after a test has been done. Right? Pehle patients used to come ki I have this issue, I have that issue, I have that issue. What do I do? And we used to be like, okay, first do this test, then do this
now
test.
Now they're just getting the
now they know कि ये test किया है, ये गलत है. Normal medicine में कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Lifestyle change 100% नहीं हो रहा है because how will you reduce stress, right? You're a 35-year-old working professional. If you're a woman, you have more stress because you might be dealing with a family and this and that and 50 other things. For a man, if he's helping the woman, then great, but other pressures. Everyone has multiple pressures going on. So there are some aspects of stress that you just can't remove. And there are some things that always get compromised on. Right? True. We don't get enough sunlight in a day.
Oh no, we don't.
We are not eating the healthiest meals every single day. नहीं होता है.
नहीं हो रहा है.
So something additionally needs to be done. But
and
all
I think prevention is better than cure.
100%.
People need to start looking into themselves before they fall sick, because I think
100%.
you invest in health when you are in great health.
100%.
So that's really important.
100%. And prevention in better than cure is a 21st century way of talking about it. The 22nd century of talking about it is prevention is the only way. Right?
Yeah.
Because the way at which chronic diseases are rising, a 35-year-old getting diabetes, young people dying with heart attacks and strokes and other things. Whatever the reason, the point is that it's happening at a much younger age than it used to.
Yes.
So obviously when these guys are older, they're going to be dealing with more and more diseases. And I don't think our healthcare systems are capable of
we're not ready
taking care of that.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the next 100 years.
Yeah, but you've taken the onus on your head, so we're expecting a lot.
Yeah.